We're joined by retired NYPD Detective Mark Claxton, who's director of the Black Law Enforcement Alliance and has worked tirelessly on so many of these issues. Thanks for being here for this discussion tonight.
Thank you, Ari.
Your thoughts about these points?
Significant points. Your monologue was very moving, to be honest with you. Just to answer some questions that you posed during the course of it, in regards specifically to the blue wall of silence, I don't believe that what occurred during the course of the Chauvin trial will have significant impact on what is called the blue wall of silence, and mainly because it is just a component of a larger toxic police culture that is stubborn and resilient and really entrenched, and that supports the us against them mentality that police officers too often have, which gives police officers or allows police officers to believe that they're in a constant state of war against those outside of their police agencies. So that blue wall of silence, though it was significantly damaged, largely because of the leadership of Chief Arredondo, and I don't think that could be overstated. Had Chief Arredondo, the head of the department, not assumed this stance from the very beginning, had he not been as open and honest and forthright, if he hadn't taken the steps to terminate the officers involved, had he not rejected the labor union, the police union there in Minneapolis, his underlings would have been less likely to have been as cooperative as they were. He set the tone, and hopefully if that would resonate throughout the nation. But it's unlikely because we're dealing with, a multi-headed beast called toxic police culture.
I appreciate your candor on that, and you speak from experience. What happens inside these departments when even in what would be called a very extreme and damning case, for example, one where there is video evidence, where there's not just a quote-unquote contested or debated incident, what would be the retaliation or the things that officers fear by speaking out?
Well, a good example and something that was just recently rectified was the situation of Carrie O'Horn, a police officer from upstate New York who took the responsible action in progress, defending an individual who was being assaulted by her colleagues. She was a police officer. She ended up getting terminated, et cetera. She finally just recently, got her pension, her benefits back from the time that she's been out. But the reality of it is when you operate in a toxic culture and there is criminality as part of this culture and you are in close proximity to it, you are then exposed to it and you're exposed to the danger that comes along with it. So police officers realize, or the fear is, that if they take the principled position on issues involving criminality or excessive brutality or police violence, they'll be at the very least ostracized and not supported. And at the worst case scenario, it could be much more dangerous for them personally and physically. So that's the reality they're facing. But let's be clear about something. I've always said this police work is, you're not a victim, you're a volunteer. You get paid to do a particular job, and you come in with certain standards that you should have, a certain level of integrity and honesty, a certain diligence and a certain desire to help people. And you should maintain those standards, even in the face of the most dangerous or potentially dangerous circumstances. You can't let the job and the toxicity of it determine or lessen your moral standing. You just can't let that happen.
Understood. I hope people are hearing your words tonight.